Hello everyone, thank you for joining our webinar today. I am Ishwar, a product expert at Analytics Plus, ManageEngine's flagship IT analytics solution, and I am excited to conduct this highly anticipated and informative session. As you already know, today we'll be discussing the steps to design a perfect SLA, SLO and SLM compliance dashboard to track IT service performance and operational efficiency. But before we begin, here are a few housekeeping notes. By default, all attendees will be on listen-only mode. If you have any questions during the webinar, feel free to type them in chat or drop them in the Q&A panel on the left side of your screen. I'll try my best to get to them towards the end of the session. In case we run short on time, I'll respond to your questions later via email. You're also welcome to email me your questions directly using the address that's shown on your screens. And with that out of the way, let's get started with the webinar. Service level metrics are instrumental in helping IT teams optimize performance, guarantee compliance, and align IT strategies with overarching business objectives. By establishing clear expectations within a defined budget from the outset, service level metrics provide a streamlined approach and clear direction for all stakeholders involved in the IT operation. Once the expectations are set, the regular measurement and optimization becomes a breeze. This webinar aims to equip you with essential insights and tools needed to build dashboards that track critical service level metrics such as SLAs, SLOs, and SLMs in real time. These dashboards will provide actionable insights, empowering you to take decisive control of your IT landscape. Before we go through the dashboards, let's answer the vital question. Why does service level performance tracking even matter? For this, let's start by understanding the crucial importance that service level performance plays in day-to-day IT operations. So poor IT service quality and inefficient operations can have severe repercussions for your business, including revenue loss due to downtime, frustrated customers, and damage to your reputation. Notably, a report by Uptime Institute indicates that a staggering 67% of outages are attributed to human error, which is actually 2/3 of the entire errors that was measured over a 25-year period. So, effective service level tracking enables a transition from reactive firefighting to proactive management, preventing issues from escalating and ensuring consistently high service levels. But to track performance effectively, you must define clear metrics. Imagine navigating a complex city without a GPS. You would be lost, unsure of the best routes, and prone to mistakes. Similarly, managing IT without clear performance metric is akin to flying blind. You would lack the visibility into service performance, which hinders your ability to identify bottlenecks, proactively address issues, and demonstrate the value of your IT investments. In today's intricate IT ecosystem, service level performance tracking acts as a sophisticated diagnostic system. Rooted in Google's Site Reliability Engineering or SRE principles and the ITIL process framework, the triad of service performance metrics, SLAs, that is service level agreements, SLOs, that is service level objectives, and SLMs, that is service level management, streamlines IT practices and enhances operational efficiency. This trio serves as a radar detecting anomalies, the GPS guiding optimization, and the regular checkup ensuring the health of your IT infrastructure. Tracking service level metrics like SLAs, SLOs, and SLMs allows for the identification of improvement areas and the implementation of changes to optimize performance, including proactive problem resolution. So without tracking, you rely on reactive firefighting. But by spotting potential issues before they escalate, service level performance monitoring minimizes the impact of issues. Optimized resource allocation. Service performance metrics highlights the gaps in resource deployment and consumption, enabling informed decisions about scaling, capacity planning, and infrastructure upgrades, maximizing the performance and minimizing costs. Next one is about enhanced user experiences. Tracking service level metrics ensures that you provide consistent and reliable services, enhancing your end user experience. Poor IT performance and disruptions can lead to drastic repercussions, including impacting employee productivity, which in turn leads to customer frustrations, churns, and revenue loss. And the final point is validating IT performance and gaining faster sign-off on IT decisions. Many industries have strict regulatory requirements for service levels and IT operational efficiency. Tracking ensures compliance and avoids penalties. Detailed service level reports provide an audit trail demonstrating your commitment to the regulatory standards. So far we have established the importance of tracking service level metrics. Let's delve into the core metrics that we'll be discussing today. So understanding SLAs, SLOs, and SLMs is crucial for effective IT operations management. While widely used, their distinct purposes are often blurred. Let's clarify these interconnected concepts with an interesting analogy. Imagine you are the manager of a professional soccer or football team aiming for the league championships. Your SLA in this case is winning the championship, which is the ultimate promise. Your SLO are the specific performance target, which is the goals per game, defensive efficiency, player fitness, and whatnot. And finally, the SLM is your coaching system, training, and game day management. So basically, SLOs or service level agreements define the what. It is the formal agreement defining the expected service level, and it's focused on customer experience. While SLOs define the how, which are internal targets that enable you to fulfill the SLA. They are measurable steps taken in your IT operations. Consistently missing SLOs leads to SLA breaches. And finally, coming to SLM or service level management. Service level management or SLM is the process. It encompasses all activities that manage and improve service levels and its efficiency. It involves continuous monitoring and optimization, preventing issues and ensuring consistent delivery of promised services to users, both internal and external. SLM is an ongoing process and not a one-time activity. Using these metrics effectively allows IT teams to move from reactive to proactive management, ensuring consistent service and meeting business objectives. So this broad tabular representations that's shown on your screen provides a more detailed and intuitive comparative study of the three concepts, that is SLAs, SLOs, and SLMs. This gives the overview, the purpose of SLAs, what are the objectives for measuring each metrics, the granularity, the key metrics that are part which we'll be discussing later further through the session, and the final impact that these metrics have on your IT teams as well as the organization. So ultimately, the core distinction lies in their purpose. SLAs articulate service promises made to end users, while SLOs define the operational goals necessary to fulfill those promises. SLM acts as a unifying force, connecting SLAs and SLOs to broader business objectives and managing their life cycle from creation and monitoring to improvement and alignment with evolving business needs. Now, let's explore each of these metrics and processes in detail. We'll examine the key indicators and performance metrics needed to create comprehensive dashboards that can effectively track maintain, and improve SLA, SLO, and SLM compliance. And for that, we'll begin with the most popular and the widely adopted of the three metrics, which is SLAs or service level agreements. A service level agreement is at its core, as we discussed, a formal agreement, a written contract between the service provider and the customer. It meticulously outlines the expected service levels, performance standards, and accountability mechanisms that ensure those standards are met. In IT, SLA serves as the bedrock for building transparency and accountability between IT teams and end users, effectively defining the service standards as well as the quality expectations. Given the ubiquity of SLAs, I assume you're well versed in the setup and management. However, if your organization lacks a robust SLA standards and policies, prioritizing the development should be a critical objective for the coming year. Now, moving on to the meat of the matter, which is designing the perfect SLA compliance dashboard. Tracking SLA compliance can be a real challenge, especially when your data is siloed across different IT service tools and platforms. But a well-designed dashboard can provide the unified view you need to stay on top of your service level agreements. By consolidating the critical SLA indicators into a comprehensive dashboard as shown here, you will gain a real-time overview of your service efficiency, SLA adherence, and overall system health. Apart from the reports, the interactive widgets on these dashboards give you a glance insights into simplifying and accelerating your SLA related decision making. So the SLA compliance dashboard delivers AI powered insights, helping you identify emerging violations and take timely corrective action to improve your service delivery. But looking at this dashboard, you will wonder, what are the key indicators that you should include in your SLA compliance dashboard? So that's what we're going to do now. Let's just dive in and reverse engineer this perfect SLA setup or SLA compliance dashboard to keep you ahead of any degrading SLAs. Over the next few minutes, we'll address all your concerns and show you how to build a dashboard that gives you a real-time, proactive view of your organization's SLAs. The first step in defining an SLA dashboard is defining the trackable metrics. While calculations can be complex, advanced analytics tools like ManageEngine's Analytics Plus features inbuilt formula engines that simplify the process. To provide a holistic view of SLA performance, boost uptime, and reduce resolution time, we have outlined the key metrics that should be included in your SLA compliance dashboard. And let's get started with the first one, which is SLA breach analysis by technician and category. So as all of you might know, technicians are the backbone of any IT service team, and the journey to maintaining and optimizing SLA compliance begins there. A primary goal of any effective SLA dashboard is to pinpoint and address the gaps in technician SLA compliance rate. A technician's wise SLA breach analysis heat map provides a powerful visual analysis into this. And this heat map helps you analyze how effectively your team is meeting their SLA commitments. This heat map visualizes the percentage of requests within each category that exceeded their SLA targets, further classifying them by the technicians who handle these requests. It offers a clear picture of SLA adherence and service reliability for each technician across multiple service categories. Essentially, this heat map helps you understand who is the technician who's meeting the targets, where are the bottlenecks, that is, it highlights the categories and technicians with frequent SLA breaches, and what needs to be improved. By examining this data, IT managers like you can identify areas for targeted training, resource adjustments, and process improvements, ultimately leading to better SLA compliance and enhanced service delivery. So now let's quickly move to the next metrics that is a critical part of any SLA dashboard, which is first response time and first call resolution performance metrics. So in the realm of IT support, promptness is paramount. Users expect swift responses, and tracking first response time or FRT ensures that every IT request is acknowledged quickly, fostering user confidence and enhancing service quality. This trend of FRT analysis reports that tracks the speed at which IT teams acknowledge tickets, providing insights into resolution efficiency and user experience. This analysis displays the average daily FRT across various ticket categories and identifies the peak hours or requests for which FRT reaches its anomalously high values, which is a bad thing for your SLA compliance. So building such a comprehensive analysis with tools like Analytics Plus is pretty straightforward. While some service desks provide FRT data out of the box, others may require creating a custom FRT column. But simply put, the formula that's shown on your screen helps you create a robust FRT metrics, and this formula is the average time between ticket creation and first response. So FRT tracking is crucial for SLA compliance, as delays in first response impacts the overall service efficiency. To further enhance your service efficiency beyond FRT, you can also focus on other critical metrics called first call resolution, or FCR. So FCR is as shown here measures the percentage of requests resolved within your initial interaction, directly impacting resolution times and customer satisfaction. Consistently high FCR values indicates a productive ITSM team and strategy. So the analysis shown on your screen illuminates the resolution delays caused due to transfer tickets from one level to another in a service desk. You can clearly observe that requests with higher FCR resolutions have significantly low resolution times as compared to tickets with higher non-FCR resolutions, where the resolution times increases dramatically. The insights gained from this analysis enables you to refine response policies for critical categories and optimize your workload assignments. Both FRT and FCR are foundations for service excellence. Building user trusts and streamlining process is made easy by these two matrices. Leveraging these insights for ticket transfer analysis helps you identify tickets requiring multiple interactions, pinpoint opportunities for automation, and reduce unnecessary transfers, thus improving the overall service efficiency. Now, let's move on to the third metrics that should be part of your SLA compliance dashboard, which is the average ticket resolution time, or ART. Timely resolution is fundamental to SLA success. Prolonged resolution times hinder business productivity, causing operational slowdowns, employee frustrations, and SLA breaches. To maintain efficiency and identify potential bottlenecks, tracking average ticket resolution times is essential. The analysis shown on your screens tracks the monthly trend of average resolution times for multiple service categories. And to calculate this analysis for a given month, we determine the time elapsed between ticket resolution and ticket creation for any particular service category within that month. And this can be achieved using a custom aggregate formula on Analytics Plus, which is shown on your screens. This formula can be easily implemented using Analytics Plus Advanced Formula Engine. It calculates the average time difference between ticket creation and ticket resolution divided by the total number of tickets created in that month. Data for resolution time, creation time, and ticket ID count can be obtained from your service desk tool, integrating it with your Analytics Plus application. Building on from this, we can perform a resolution SLA compliance analysis, which tracks the percentage of tickets resolved within SLA defined resolution time, categorized by their priority or impact. This very impactful report helps IT teams pinpoint gaps and optimize workflows for urgent tickets. Tracking resolution time or average resolution time and resolution SLA compliance, as seen here, offers several benefits, including reduced SLA breaches, workload optimization by preventing congestion caused by accumulated unresolved tickets, and improving future resolution times, and finally enhanced productivity and satisfaction for your customers and users by reducing downtime and improving service availability, thereby boosting your employee productivity and user satisfaction. Now let's move on to the next metrics, which you might have seen earlier, which is mean time to resolve, or MTTR, and mean time to acknowledge, or MTTA. So mean time to resolve is a vital metric for tracking the average time required to fully resolve service incidents and requests after they have been reported. By analyzing MTTR trends across ticket categories, priority levels, and teams, we can pinpoint resolution delays. Elevated MTTR values signal inefficiencies in issue identification, resolution, closure, prompting process optimization strategies to prevent escalating issues. So, the analysis that's shown on your screen tracks MTTR for high volume requests, comparing them against resolution times to ensure SLA compliance. Additionally, we have actually incorporated another critical metrics here, which is mean time to acknowledge, to understand how acknowledgement delays can impact your overall MTTR. Slow acknowledgement and ensure response times can indicate inefficiencies in ticket assignment, processing, and alerting mechanisms. So MTTR for individual tickets can be calculated as the time difference between ticket closure and ticket creation. The average MTTR is then derived by dividing the sum of these differences by the number of resolved tickets. You can easily calculate MTTR in your Analytics Plus using the aggregate formula that's shown on your screens. Maintaining SLA mandated similar formula is also provided for MTTA, or mean time to acknowledge. Maintaining the SLA mandated MTTR and MTTA is critical for ensuring prompt responses, fostering customer trusts, and upholding your SLA compliance. With that, we'll move on to the fifth metrics and the final metrics that we'll be discussing in detail for SLA compliance dashboard, which is ticket backlog versus ticket growth rate. An anomalous surge in ticket backlog can signal an impending SLA breach, indicating inefficient resolution and prioritization of issues. Unmanaged backlogs lead to service delays, customer dissatisfaction, and a supply-demand gap that fuels the overall ticket growth. So the visualization that's shown on your screen provide insight to the backlog trends, or backlog ticket trends, distributed across a 12-month period. It also compares the backlog ticket growth rate over time, highlighting the correlation between ticket backlogs and month-on-month ticket growth rate, which can an escalating volume of tickets along with high ticket backlogs can result in eventual SLO breaches. So armed with these insights, you can implement workload balancing and other strategies effectively to manage as well as reduce your ticket backlogs and keep your month-on-month ticket growth rate as well in check. So the 5 or 6 metrics that we discussed so far are some of the key analysis that can be tracked as part of your SLA compliance dashboard. So in addition to this, you can also track multiple other vital service performance indicators which you might have seen in the dashboard, which includes your wait time trends, reopen ticket analysis, and others to gauge your IT organization's adherence to service promises. So far we have explored the crucial role SLA compliance dashboards play in ensuring you meet your agreed upon service level commitments with end users. Now we'll take the session to the next step and dive deep into the next concept that we'll be looking at, which is service level objectives or SLOs, the internal operational targets that help you keep those SLA promises. So building and achieving an SLA compliance dashboard can significantly enhance your ability to meet SLAs. By focusing on the right SLO metrics, you can gain a granular control over your service performance, proactively address operational issues, and minimize your SLA violations. Our goal, as with SLAs here, is to define, track, monitor, and analyze critical SLO metrics to build robust compliance dashboards. In the world of IT, SLOs represent the desired level of IT performance and operational reliability required to deliver the required SLA compliance to your users over a specific period. So the fundamental component of any SLO measurement will include service level indicators, which are specific metrics or indicators used to measure your SLO performance, the target, which is the desired value for the indicator to meet the SLO, as well as the time period, the period over which the SLO is measured. Now let's move on to something very interesting, which is how your SLOs can contribute to SLO compliance. So SLOs, as we said, are actionable checkpoints that guide you towards your SLA goals, and consistently meeting your SLO targets reduces the risk of SLO violations, and they act as proactive mechanisms to address your operational bottlenecks. So according to a Nobel 9 2023 State of SLOs report, 76% of respondents agree that SLOs prevent business disruptions. 71% agree that they improve their IT reliability, and 27% of the respondents reported a massive savings exceeding $500,000 because of a robust SLO implementation and tracking. So the representative diagram that you see on your screen clearly showcases how SLO compliance can optimize a critical SLA metric. This flowchart diagram represents the journey towards achieving an SLA target of greater application uptime, optimizing indicators like latency, error rate, and connectivity, and achieving their SLOs for databases, web servers or app servers, and load balancers directly improves your application, or in case of a web uptime, leading to better SLO compliance. So we have understood broadly about what SLOs are and how it leads to SLA compliance. Now let's look at the most important part of SLO measurement and management, which is the key stakeholders. So like SLAs, effective SLO management requires a lot of cross-functional collaboration between multiple tenets of your IT team. And this includes your operational managers, who are kind of responsible for defining and maintaining the SLOs, the NOC teams responsible for monitoring and tracking these set SLOs, the engineering teams responsible for implementing changes to improve your SLO performance, and your IT leadership, who are responsible for reviewing the SLO performance and making strategic decisions on the basis of those. So in addition to this, all these stakeholders can employ some important tools to track SLO compliance And for this, you need data from the IT landscape, entire IT landscape, right? So for the tracking that data, the first and the most important tool is required is an AI-powered analytics platform, and Manage Engine Analytics Plus. An AI-powered analytics platform from Manage Engine integrates data from various monitoring tools like your Site 24/7, Datadog, and Dynatrace, and your IT Ops management tools like your Ops Genie, PagerDuty, and Manage Engine Ops Manager. And they detect and generate alert for potential SLO breaches. Now that we have had an in-depth understanding of SLO, SLO management, and how SLOs can result in SLA compliance, let's move towards the most interesting part, which is creating the perfect SLO dashboard by identifying key SLO metrics. So the ultimate SLO compliance dashboard, created using unified IT analytics platforms like Analytics Plus, provides a single window view that incorporates key metrics and indicators for proactive SLO tracking and management. So this SLO dashboard can help you proactively manage infrastructure performance, elevate operational efficiency, and minimize SLO violations, and deliver upon the agreed upon SLA promises by maintaining SLO compliance. Similar to our SLA compliance dashboard, we have certain widgets here which provide you quick-fire insight into your SLO compliance. So IT analytics solutions like Manage Engine Analytics Plus offer out-of-the-box integrations with various monitoring and IT ops tools, enabling quick data aggregation and complex metric calculation without the need for any complex manual SQL query. So now that we have seen the very interesting and intuitive SLO compliance dashboard, let's now dive deeper and explore the key metrics that are part of this SLO compliance dashboard. Just as we did for SLA dashboard, we will examine how these metrics are derived and how they can help you better understand and manage your service level objectives. So let's dive in. And the first metrics that we'll be measuring today is availability, which helps you ensure continuous service operations. Availability, as you all know, is a common metric that measures the percentage of operational time and is a critical indicator of resource accessibility. Simply put, availability answers the question, is the resource or service accessible when my user needs it? Key websites, APIs, infrastructure, and other aspects with high availability improves your overall user experience, drive lower costs, and eventually boosts your revenue. So measuring and calculating your availability kind of defines the proportion of operational time for resource or application within the given period of time. And any analysis might or must take into consideration the downtime aligned with your user expectations, whether the downtime means the complete outage or a degraded performance. Consistent measurement of availability ensures that your services are accessible when and where they are needed. So raw data from availability calculations can be obtained from monitoring tools like Datadog, Prometheus, Nagios, and Site 24/7, and system logs like your Manage Engine Event Log Analyzer and other IT Ops monitoring tools like Ops Manager. So the availability that is calculated based on the aggregate formula is shown in this visualization that analyzes the application server availability trend over a week period. Anomalously low availability indicates downtime events, while high availability score demonstrate your commitment to seamless user experience driving business success. By analyzing trends and identifying instances of anomalously low and high availability and correlating them with other metrics, you can identify potential issues, prevent proactive outages, and continuously improve the reliability of your service. So next, now move on to the next important metrics in SLO monitoring, which is latency. And latency basically measures your infrastructure responsiveness. Latency is a critical operational indicator, which, as I said, measures your infrastructure responses to multiple requests. It ensures that your resources or your infrastructure meets the user expectations and the performance targets. High latency breaches frustrates users and leads to abandoned transactions and potentially triggers SLA violations due to them breaching the SLO compliance. By tracking latency with your SLA dashboards, you can analyze its root causes, which may be caused due to multiple factors like your infrastructure performance bottlenecks, incidents causing potential service disruptions, and inefficient capacity planning leading to resource overload. So latency is typically measured in milliseconds or seconds and often reported as an average. However, some IT teams do measure latency as a percentage to better understand the user experience for the majority, as it's less sensitive to the outliers. So data for measuring latency, as we have seen for availability, can be obtained from your network monitoring or application monitoring tools, load balancers, server logs, developer tools, JavaScript libraries, and whatnot. So these tools basically capture the timestamp of request initiation and response at various transaction stages, which can be used to calculate the overall transaction latency. So as seen in this formula, you need to subtract the initial timestamp from the response timestamp and to get the latency for each request. And finally, the average latency is calculated by dividing them with the overall count of the request ID that's coming in. And this is the formula that you can use in your formula engine to create a robust latency metric in your Analytics Plus. With that latency metrics or response time metrics that's created, this visualization tracks the distribution of API latency or response time and compares the variation in response time as request volume increases. This helps pinpoint any slow responses that deviate from the obvious trend. So the analysis, which was done using an automated anomaly detection feature as part of Analytics Plus, reveals anomalously high latency values at various intervals between R10 and R18. This points to a critical performance flaw that requires immediate attention. By analyzing latency trends and identifying bottlenecks and optimizing your service, you can ensure that your APIs respond to the requests quickly and efficiently, leading to better latency and response times, and which in turn leads to better user satisfaction as well as SLO and SLA compliance. So proactively addressing these latency or response time related issues, you can deliver a reliable and a high quality IT operations and eventually a high quality application service to your end users. With that, let's now move on to the third metric that we'll be looking at, which is error rate. So error rate gauges the operational health and reliability. So in the realm of IT operation, error rate serves as a crucial barometer for operational health and reliability, indicating the frequency of failures in application, services, or infrastructure. So IT reliability or IT error rate impacts reliability and can lead to major outages. Continuous tracking of error rates for critical components allows you to identify anomalous increase in error rates beyond acceptable values and also trigger automated timely alerts when error rates exceed these limits, prompting immediate action from your end. And like you've seen for latency, this formula can be used to calculate error rate, and it is typically expressed as a percentage of failed requests or operation. The raw data for measuring your error rate can be identified from the sources that is listed on your screen. So you basically import the data from these into Analytics Plus to create an aggregate error metric, and this metric can be used to identify or track the error rate trend over time, as seen in the next report that we'll be projecting on the screen. So this analysis tracks the error rate trend for a survey application over a 24-hour time period, enabling identification and resolution of recurring anomalies. Consistent error rate monitoring like this is vital for maintaining your infrastructure and your application health, and as well as meeting your SLA targets. Proactive issue resolutions through error rate monitoring improves your application stability and impacts your user experience in a positive manner. So now let's move on to the fourth metric, which is a pretty common one, which you might have heard, which is throughput, which quantifies the system's capacity and efficiency to deliver a request. So throughput is basically a fundamental metric that measures the number of transactions or requests successfully handled per second, which is basically in terms of requests per second or transactions per second. This metric quantifies the capacity and efficiency of your systems, indicating how much work your resources can track or handle within a given time frame. Tracking throughput is crucial for ensuring scalability and meeting the performance service level objectives. Throughput is typically measured in transactions or requests successfully handled per unit time. Data sources for measuring throughput metrics as shown in this slide includes application and network monitoring tools, which captures the data from load balancers, application servers, DB servers, and other infrastructure elements. Throughput is derived by counting the successful operations and measuring the time taken to complete them using log aggregation and performance counter data from these sources. So moving on to the report that tracks throughput. This analysis tracks the web server throughput over a time period and highlights the periods of alarmingly high or alarmingly low throughput, indicating inconsistencies in load input and load handling and capacity planning. Analyzing throughput data like this helps you optimize infrastructure performance and capacity plan to maintain your SLA compliance. Anomalously high throughput is obviously good for your application as it improves your performance, while a low throughput indicates a critical scenario of SLO compliance. Now with that, let's now move on to the fifth metric, which is a very interesting one, which is the service deployment success rate. So service deployment success rate measures the effectiveness and consistency of deployment processes for the internal IT services and frameworks. This can be include anything from your microservice deployments, database schema migrations, containerized application deployment, AutoML deployment, and even IAC or infrastructure as code deployments, and they directly impact your SLOs and your service agility. The data or in-depth data to measure the service deployment can be gathered from your CI/CD pipeline logs, your automation deployment and testing tools, and your OPM and other monitoring solutions like Op Manager, Site 24/7, Prometheus, Datadog, etc. Then using this formula, you can aggregate and parse data to identify deployment events and determine success or failure status of them and calculate their eventual success rate, which is what we'll be doing in this report. So this analysis or this tree map analysis provides a clear view of the deployment success rates across different environments. This analysis is a vital indicator of your ability to deliver software and services reliably and efficiently across your deployment, whether it's development, production, or testing. The consistent monitoring and improvement of these key service deployment processes can help you accelerate, innovate, and enhance your service stability and achieve your operational SLOs. So in addition to these 4 or 5 key metrics that we had discussed now, there are a few other critical indicators which can be used to elevate the efficiency of your SLA dashboard, including the TTFB, or the time to first byte, which measures the first data byte you have received, and a key component of improving your latency and response time. The system recovery time, your data freshness, which measures an average or maximum acceptable delay in your last data update, as well as the SLO breached by department. So by focusing on the right SLOs and tracking them effectively, you can build operational resilience, enhance infrastructure reliability, and drive optimum operational efficiency to achieve your SLA targets. So with that, it's time for us to move on to the next important concept that we'll be discussing today, which is service level management, or SLMs. So while SLAs and SLOs are specific components of your service metrics, SLM is the overarching process that ensures that these metrics are defined, monitored, and maintained in alignment with business goals. A structured SLM process which adheres to ITIL standards is essential for meeting the agreed upon SLAs and SLOs. But how does SLM align service metrics with business goals? So SLM ties IT service level objectives to business processes, including your customer needs, financial goals, and capacity management. SLM ensures that your service level promises, whether it's SLAs, SLOs, or even your SLIs, incorporate strategic business changes, disruptions, and external macroeconomic conditions are incorporated as part of the service level metric calculation and tracking. And this allows for periodic adjustments that account for evolving business needs. This aspect of SLM is pretty crucial because business outcomes are the ones that eventually justify your IT resource investments or IT investments in general, and not just your IT operational outputs. Therefore, continuous improvement and updates to SLAs and SLOs are necessary to ensure that the IT goals as well as the service promises align with evolving business need. So, benefits of a robust SLM process as seen here include stronger alignment between IT and business, which we have obviously seen, an accurate service level expectation, which is very important, and objectives with continuous improvements to keep up with the changing business landscape. It also fosters a flexible IT ecosystem that can react to the market changes, and also plays a crucial role in introducing smart IT financing, resource procurement, and capacity planning based on promised service levels. So, proactive SLM monitoring can be achieved with AI-powered dashboards, as we have seen for SLOs as well as your SLAs. An SLM compliance dashboard tracks how well an IT service or operation aligns with its business goals. IT provides real-time insights into service performance, compliance gaps, and areas for improvements through SLMs, SLM dashboards. Now let's kind of have a look at a very valuable and high-impact SLM compliance dashboard. And this dashboard consolidates data from your SLAs, SLOs, and other operational metrics to identify trends and opportunities for enhancing IT services and operations. The dashboard gives you a real-time visibility into your IT operational efficiency, your IT service performance, and the overall business alignment of these metrics to your business goals. Similar to your SLA and SLO dashboards, the SLM dashboard also offers a single intuitive view with the widgets that deliver quick and actionable intelligence on your SLM efficiency. Now, like your SLAs and SLOs, let's just move on to the meat of the matter, which is the essential metrics. So while SLM metrics can vary based on your IT operations and business conditions, the 5 key metrics that we are going to discuss here are essential for most of the SLM dashboards and scenarios. So let's just dive right in, starting with the first metric, which is the volume of services within SLAs. So volume of services within SLAs helps in analyzing your SLA performance and compliance. The volume of services within SLAs is a crucial metric that provides visibility into how consistently your IT teams meet your SLA commitments, highlighting weaknesses, gaps, or negative trends that need process improvements, service level improvements, staffing adjustments, or implementation of automation solutions to enhance your SLA adherence. So as we have seen, this metric, that is the volume of services within SLA, acts as a performance scoreboard showing how well your IT services are meeting their SLAs month on month. It helps pinpoint trends such as seasonal workload spikes or service delivery gaps, which leads to increased SLA breaches or unresolved requests. This enables preemptive action regarding process improvements and resource alignment to handle higher request volumes in specific months, especially as you can see in a month of May or in the month of July, thereby preventing minor inefficiencies from turning into major disruptions. Now let's move on to a very interesting SLM tracking parameter related to your service level objectives or your operations, which is timely updates and active review analysis of your infrastructure SLOs. While it sounds a little bit complex, this is a very simple metrics, and the core it actually satisfies the core goal of SLM compliance tracking, which is to ensure your IT objectives remain dynamic and aligned with evolving business needs. But the issue here is that many IT organizations operate often with outdated SLOs that no longer reflect their current priorities or business conditions. So this analysis, or the analysis that is built around the metric, groups key resources within an organization's IT landscape based on how actively their SLOs are reviewed and updated. It identifies resources with static SLOs, enabling IT leaders to improve their SLM process by including these resources in their audit, monitoring, and periodic review cycle. This analysis ensures that SLOs reflects real-time IT and organizational changes, resulting in service reliability, cost efficiency, and service alignment. So as we see, this is a cluster analysis, and here cluster 1 and cluster 2 basically represent resources with outdated SLOs, and in this cluster 2 resources have a greater impact due to more critical SLAs being associated with them as compared to something like of a cluster 1 resource. While the cluster 3 resource, as we can see here, includes resources with periodically reviewed and up-to-date SLOs that align with the evolving business goals and scenarios and IT needs. So this is a very interesting cluster analysis that helps you get a comprehensive picture of how updated your resource SLOs are at any given point in time. So here we are tracking multiple parameters, which you can see with the tooltip, to come up with a grouping that gives you a clear picture of your SLA update status and review status. So after this, let's now move on to the third metric in our SLM compliance, which is a technician SLA breach report. So a high number of service breaches associated with a particular IT or NOC team member signals a critical gap in your SLM strategy. The technician SLA breach analysis here tracks the ratio of services that breached SLAs per technician per unit time. So which is monthly, weekly, daily, or even shift specific. The visualization or metrics allows you to uncover technician performance gaps or bottlenecks, identify workload challenges, and pinpoint patterns of resource or technician shortage that can lead to SLA compliance breaches. So this is a very intuitive metrics that helps you measure the efficiency of your resources and your technicians across multiple service category and how they are helping you meet your SLA compliance. So with that, next now move on to a metric that measures the cost, efficiency, and management related aspects of your service level management. So the cost per SLA breach request assesses the financial risks, and as you know, every SLA or SLO breach incurs some cost, and this can be resulting from longer resolution times, increased resource consumption, and potential business disruptions. So the analysis that's shown on the screen that tracks this metrics calculates the average cost of resolving an incident that has breached an SLA and compares it to the actual budgeted resolution cost. That is, it compares the actual resolution cost of an SLA breach request with its budgeted resolution cost. By tracking this metric, you can assess the financial risk associated with your SLA breaches, take corrective actions to prevent cost escalation, optimize process to reduce high-cost service disruptions, and finally refine your IT budgets to account for the violations and avoid unplanned spending. So the analysis and the metrics aids in your journey towards minimizing breach-related expenses while maximizing service reliability. Now, with this, we'll now move on to a change or a problem management related metric that can impact SLM compliance. This metric is the trend of change success rate. Change management, as you know, is the backbone of any stable IT operation or IT service. Many service or operational initiatives come with some change or the other. So analyzing the change process for their impact on SLAs as well as SLOs needs to be a critical part of your SLM compliance tracking. So the trend of change success rate analysis here tracks the percentage of changes that were implemented successfully without failures, rollbacks, or unplanned service disruptions. This metric is critical for assessing the effectiveness of change management practices in both IT service, that is SLA related changes, and IT operations, which is SLO related changes. By carefully analyzing and tracking this visualization, IT teams can identify high-risk change categories, improve change implementation process associated with the critical SLA or SLO, and minimize IT as well as business disruptions caused by failed implementations. So a root cause analysis into months with high volume of unsuccessful changes, right, or low volume of successful changes can reveal an underlying problem behind the change implementation or change implementation failure. And this helps you refine your process for successful implementations in the future, thereby preventing change-related SLA and SLO breaches. In addition to the 5 metrics, including the change success rate that we discussed here, you can also choose to include metrics like that track your customer experience and communication, like your alert accuracy, customer satisfaction score, and net promoter score or NPS and CSAT, as more of your SLM compliance tracking, as customer experience is a crucial aspect that leads to eventual business success, which is a key goal of your SLM tracking. So that brings us to the end of this webinar. Let's quickly recap the key takeaways. First of all, importance of service level metrics in IT operations. So tracking service level metrics is crucial for ensuring efficient and proactive IT operations. Poor service quality leads to downtime, revenue loss, and frustrated customers. SLAs, SLOs, and SLM dashboards thus prove vital in catching anomalies, optimizing processes, and maintaining service reliability. Then we tried to differentiate the 3 metrics. In short, SLAs define the service expectations. SLOs set measurable internal targets to meet SLAs, and SLM is the continuous process of IT monitoring and optimization for alignment with business objectives. Then we moved on to the individual metrics and their dashboards, starting with SLA compliance dashboards. An SLA compliance dashboard offers a consolidated view of service performance, technician productivity, and cost implication of SLA breaches. AI-powered insights help spot bottlenecks and streamline resolutions while ensuring service reliability. Then moving on to the SLO compliance dashboard, a real-time SLO compliance dashboard helps proactively track service health and prevent SLA breaches. Key metrics like availability, latency, and error rate allow for NOC teams to enhance incident response and user experience effectively. And moving on to the final metrics, that is SLM. So SLM is an overarching governance layer that ensures IT services align with business objectives by transforming SLAs and SLOs into dynamic, data-driven processes. With comprehensive SLM dashboards, organizations like yours can deliver high-quality, consistent IT operations. Now, the insights that were covered during this webinar were built using Analytics Plus, ManageEngine's AI-powered IT analytics and decision intelligence solution, using data spanning across various applications. Analytics Plus provides out-of-the-box integrations with 250 plus IT applications. These integrations can be configured in minutes, delivering 300 plus pre-built reports and dashboards out of the box. In addition to this, Analytics Plus also delivers self-service on every level of its platform. You can gain immediate insights using Zia, our AI-powered analytics assistant that creates reports on command, delivers visual and narrative interpretations of these reports, and automates root cause analysis as well as forecasting. With vast AI/ML capabilities, you can automate anomaly detection, alerting, and simulate future outcomes based on varying dependencies. This helps you create tailored and complex analysis that meets your requirements effortlessly. To explore this powerful platform, you can scan this QR code for a 15-day free trial. So that's all we have time for today, folks. If you have any further questions, feel free to email me in the address shown on your screens. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.